What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Eagle here, back with day number 10 of Vlogmas. And you know how the old saying goes. You gotta take the good with the bad, but in this case, we gotta take the bad with the good. You saw my Dream 18 vlog. Now I'm gonna be showing you my Nightmare 18. And quick disclaimer, Nightmare 18 doesn't necessarily mean they're bad holes. They're the toughest holes to me, the holes that I am scared of when I'm stepping up to the tee, and a lot of them might not even make sense to you guys, but this is my list, and yeah. So let me say it again. Nightmare 18 doesn't necessarily mean bad holes. For example, I have a hole that's on my Dream 18 on this Nightmare 18. It's a double-edged sword. And some of the holes are on some of my favorite courses. So, you know, if I wanted to show you my worst 18 holes ever, that would be a different video. And I'm not going to do that because that would be, you know, kind of focusing on the negatives, which I don't want to do. I'm going to try to be a professional when talking about some of these holes. And, you know, there are a few holes in here that aren't the best, in my opinion, but I will do my best to kind of hide that because I know all the work that has been put into them. Okay. You know, you're here to see the Nightmare 18, so let's jump into it now. Okay, starting off, we have hole 1 of Winthrop Gold, and right off the bat, you're probably thinking, why is Eagle scared of this hole? It's just an easy forehand. I didn't birdie it one time at USDGC, so it's a little frustrating. I think I have nerves stepping up on the tee. You know, this was the first round, and you know, every time the announcer calls out your name, you're always nervous. It's USDGC, one of the toughest events of the year, just mentally draining, total grind. I threw it into the fake rock, but just had to pitch up there. But yeah, I was kind of embarrassed not to get that hole, considering my sidearm, I feel like it's pretty decent, so I should at least get that once. Okay, here's what I was saying. Milo East, it's one of my favorite courses, and it's on the Nightmare 18. This hole is just, it's always been awkward for me because I'm always afraid of shanking it too early and then being left with a really awkward approach, but pushing it too long is a problem as well. This was an MD3, and that was coming in pretty good, but as you can see, with that much angle, it's just gonna roll out. And, you know, even if you're right here, this approach shot is very touchy because there's a bunch of roots by the basket. You just want to put it up close and tap in for your par. Hole 3, it's just a wide open hole that you must birdie. And there's a little bit more out of bounds than you would like to, you know, think there is. Especially like with a backhand, I've seen so many people pull it right and are forced to take a bogey. Like honestly, a 3 feels like a bogey on this hole. And it's usually pretty windy. So the reason why this is a nightmare is because I'm afraid of the tee shot slightly, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna miss the birdie. Hole 4, Maple Hill. This is a quirky little downhill hole. It's fun to throw, but if you hit early on this specific hole, this hole becomes more difficult from your second shot some of the time than it is from the tee. So I have figured out really good ways to cheese this hole. As you can see here, I'm about to throw a jump putt. I think they show my feet here. Feet gang. I'm standing on the left side of the tee pad so I can open up the right, you know, right side fairway / gap and jump putt it down there. It's a really understable disc. Basically just sending it out there and letting the hill do the rest of the work. I've thrown a grenade on it in the past. I birdie it here. I didn't birdie it. I think I birdied it one other time at the MVP Open. Or no, I didn't birdie it anymore. But that can be a little scary, that hole. Hole number 5, Lake Eureka. This one is terrifying because if you don't cross over the baseball field, you go to this treacherous drop zone. I think it might be for any out of bounds, really. So it's really crucial to find your shot in bounds. and it's far. It's 476. It's basically a full power hyzer mash, and this shot was pretty good. It landed maybe just inside or outside the circle. I've played this hole pretty good, luckily. I missed this putt. This was at the World Championships. It would have been nice. I was fighting for a top 10 spot, but you know, on to hole 6. Hole 6 is a beautiful hole. I actually love this hole. I love its shape. I love its technicality. It's very, you know, fair, and but I just didn't have a disc for it, and I don't feel like I've ever had a disc. Really, you're about to see. I try to, you know, cheese my way down the fairway with a forehand roller, which is not the preferred shot, I would say. The ideal shot is throwing a putter or a mid-range, just a little flat, slow hyzer, but I've decided to go forehand roller because I just want to get down there, maybe for a putt. Found myself on the left side of the fairway, and the reason why I went forehand roller is because in practice I just felt like I could not get a shot down there, and I really just wanted a par. In the past I've bogeyed it. I think I've even got a 5 on this hole, so that's why it's scary to me. On to hole 7, Las Vegas Challenge, Innova course. There's just a lot going on here. You got OB Green, not a great layup, so OB Lake, and then the 2 sand traps are hazards. So there's like a 20-foot landing area on this hole. Just, you don't really know where you're throwing. Like, I'm trying to park it, but at the very least, you know, maybe find myself in the sand trap close so I can get the circle 3 birdie. It is a par 4, so it's a little bit forgiving. You just got to make sure you don't throw it in the lake or throw it, you know, somewhere where it makes it difficult for you to get up and down. Like laying up or throwing in the water, it's so easy to just find yourself in the sand trap. There's Greg Barsby throwing the Scorpius. Shout out to Millennium. Okay, hole number 8 at the Emporia Country Club. This hole has given me some serious battle scars. It's 990 feet of pain, and it is just always windy at this course, so it really makes this hole very treacherous. I think it's a good hole because it really forces you to focus on each shot and be very deliberate. This shot right here, I pull way too far right, and it hits out of bounds, never comes back in, and all my card mates agree that it never crossed in bounds, so I'm throwing again. So I think this sequence of shots is the reason why this is in the Nightmare 18. But, you know, it's really about just biting off as much as you can chew. As you can see, it's a little bit windy, and I'm just trying to throw a forehand, and this just goes. It looks decent, but gets this unfortunate bounce onto the sidewalk. And I was winning this tournament by 3 strokes, I believe. Round 3, front 9. So that approach with the P3X sets me up perfect for a double bogey 7, while Paul gets a birdie there. So it was a tie ball game after that. Okay, hole number 9 at Fountain Hills. Beautiful. I think it's one of the more beautiful holes on the course, but just look at all the water. It's scary. The tough thing about this hole is when you lay up, it makes the approach shot so hard. So I always go for it, and ideally I'm going for the green. I want the 2. I've never gotten the 2, but I want to push it past the basket, fly over, so I can at least maybe have a putt for par. Or, you know, that's a decent shot because I'm a jump putt or a little putt approach to the green. You know, no real point in running it, but you can't really throw a super overstable disc here because you're just going to fall in the air. You need to throw something that glides. On to hole 10, par 4, 555 feet, Milo East. This is a great hole. The only thing I don't like about it is you're throwing over a road and into a parking lot essentially, but you know, there's so much natural beauty surrounding you. This is such a tough hole because you need to be somewhat aggressive to set yourself up for an easier approach shot. But if you're like, it's so easy to throw the wrong angle and find yourself out of bounds. And I feel like a good majority of the field birdies this hole. So if you don't get your birdie, then you're potentially losing some strokes. This was the final round of BSF 2017. And unfortunately, this kind of killed my chances at that one. But I came back in the years to come. Hole 11 at Brewster Ridge. This one's a beautiful hole. The only thing that makes me scared about this one is because I don't really know where I'm throwing. I'm throwing a sidearm off the tee, but I can never really game plan it. I can never really find a landing zone. So I'm always afraid I'm going to find myself in just a weird position, not really being able to approach the green how I might like. I think this hole would be much better if it was pushed further into the woods, making it a par 5 so you can kind of just play a little bit more conservative shot off the tee. You know, people have gotten down for putts. I believe there's been eagles on this hole. So it's possible, but I just feel like it's a little bit of a poke and hope. Like that shot was decent, but catches a tree. I still have an opportunity, and you know, what I'm showing here is just me being bad. It's not the hole or anything. But you know, this is a hole that I'm a little scared to throw because I just don't know what to expect. I could get an easy birdie or I could be struggling for a bogey. So you just never know what you're going to get on hole 11 at Brewster. But I got a par there. Okie dokie, on to hole 12. Here it is. This was on my dream 18. It's such a scary hole. It can be, if you hit one of the first trees there and you kick in any which way direction. Now, I saw Matty O in practice. He was looking for one of his discs and he found this sticker bush, and his whole body, all of his clothes were almost ruined essentially. So, you know, if you take a wrong turn on this hole, then it's just going to be, it's going to be a nightmare, literally. So, really important you get good shot placement on this hole because it is a beast. 1,050 feet through the trees, up a hill, par 5, called a par 6. You know, Simon's filling in for me yet again because there wasn't coverage of me throwing it. We've already seen this, but we're going to watch it again because he plays it. He plays it actually really well here. Gets the kick with the MD3. He goes PD, turnover. This was a very good shot, honestly. You know, Simon's actually playing it about as good as you can on this run through. I actually for'd it. I'm one of the people who actually birdied it. You know, it was pretty crazy. I threw the perfect drive, and then I didn't throw the best second shot, but got distance, and then I was in a position to throw a flex sidearm down inside the circle. So I definitely felt like I got an eagle. I couldn't have played it, you know, much better. I don't really think it's possible to get to 3. Okay, 13, 888. This was from the 2016 USDGC. And you're gonna see, this was a living nightmare, like actual living nightmare. I still have, you know, I still wake up at night and think about this. I was wearing so much orange. This is probably why it happened. I'm not a fan of orange, guys, just to let you know. Really good roller. So the interesting thing about this hole was, you know, all where I put my roller out, that was all hazard, and where I landed was safe. This was the final round, or this was the 3rd round of the 2016 USDGC. 4th round got canceled. This is the year Germ won. I was winning by 3 strokes, and I just decided to start throwing discs in a parking lot. Hit the curb. I throw 3 shots, and if you look, the reason why this was happening was because I was being dumb, and the shot was very low. So I was just coming in on the wrong angle. It's not allowing my disc to skip up. I finally put it on the the island with a max, but barely. That easily could have not stuck. And I'm just throwing a little approach over. You know, that's gonna be for my 10, and you could tell I was frustrated there. Oh man, that one hurt. That one hurt for a while and still does. Hole 14, Brewster Ridge, is a fun little par 3, but I always dread it. This past year, I did not know what to throw on it. Everything I did, it didn't work. I was trying to throw MD5, I kept pushing it too far to the right. It wasn't coming back. So hopefully, you know, next year we'll figure this out. But it's just a hole that I just am scared to throw all around. Like, I try to baby this so much. I have a problem. Whenever I turn over a disc or release a disc with anhyzer out of my hand, it just never comes back unless I'm throwing like a Metal Flake Max or a PD2, and it's too short for that. So that was a Doombird, and I just had to, like, you know, just fluff it so much in order to make it work at all. And it still went deep, but this was actually a really good putt. I was very happy to get at least one birdie on this hole and not feel like I missed out. Hole 15, Northwood. Okay, I'm going to say it. I don't like this hole one bit. You have out of bounds on the right side and left side. You know, they put so much work into it, but it's a little bit quirky to me. You're throwing to an island in the woods. Simon throws a really beautiful MD3 turnover shot here, and looks good, and it just crawls out of bounds. Luckily, he is in a good position to, you know, make his putt, but that's just that hole is really hard for me to wrap my head around when I'm throwing it. 16, par 4, European Open, one of my favorite courses, the Beast. I like this hole, but it's scary, and the last 3 holes are going to be some scary ones. The nice thing about this hole is when you're approaching the green, you don't get charged an out of bounds stroke. So you'll see here, I'm throwing an FD3 off the tee. It's all about placement. You don't want to go too far left because you're going to find yourself out of bounds. You know, if you can get a little bit left of that light pole, that's an ideal position. I throw the sidearm because I feel like it opens up the green and makes it a little bit more accessible. But I missed that. I don't get charged with an out of bounds stroke, so I'm throwing this again. If I put this on the island close, I have the opportunity to save my par. So, you know, it is a little bit friendly just because you don't get charged with an out of bounds stroke, and it is makeable. But, you know, coming down the stretch with all those people watching you, you feel embarrassed when you mess up. And I bet a lot of you knew that this was going on it. Hole 17, Winthrop, one of the most scary holes to throw in disc golf. You know, I have butterflies in my stomach every time I step up to this tee. You know, I have a pretty good track record of making sure I get on the island. I haven't took any massive numbers. I think I got a 7 once, but I've kind of figured out how to, you know, throw a pretty easy bailout shot. But this was the final round. It was rainy, and I wasn't, you know, I didn't feel like I was fully in control. So out of bounds at the back. Then I'm going FD3 because I threw my only MD5, but I'd love to throw another MD5. And the thing that makes this hole so scary is just because you know the history, you know that so many people's dreams have been crushed on this hole. So, you know, you're just thinking, it could be me, it could be me. So I get a 5 here. This is the final round, and you're gonna see me walk past Kyle, and I just look, I just don't look happy. Okay, and the final hole, 18 Vista del Camino from 2020. Very odd, unique, whatever you want to call it. You know, those are nice words, but you know, I thought this was a janky hole to begin with before I was in the position to throw the winning shot, but I throw that terrible, but just a really weird hole. I was actually listening to Brian Earhart's podcast. You should check it out. It used to be The Buzz. I forget the name. Gosh, I'm gonna put the name of it here, just so I don't send you to the wrong place. But Yuli was on it, and he talked about how he thinks that there should be more triple mandos in disc golf. Like, think of hole 7 at USDGC. What if it was just a line of those going down hole 7, so you're forced to throw it through all these mandos? And I don't know if I agree with Yuli, but it's an interesting thought to explore. But you should listen to that. I think it was the last time Yuli was on his show. Okay, guys. Well, that was my Nightmare 18. Hopefully I didn't make too many people unhappy or, criticize some of their favorite courses, but, that's just how I feel about some of those holes. There's no hate involved on a good majority of those. So that was it. Yeah, so I'm gonna take 1 second to get the giveaway ready, and yeah, let me do that. Okay, yesterday I asked you guys, what is your favorite disc, collectible, non-collectible, and the winner is Justin Melgreen. He wrote, my favorite disc to throw at the moment is the Skyrider. Love the feel and love the way it flies. Loving the videos, Eagle. Cheers. All right, Justin, get in contact with me, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, and claim your beautiful brand new Glow P-Line P2 Team Stamp Edition. This thing is very pretty, so definitely want to claim that. Okay, today we are giving away a black soft primal run tactic and an Eagle whale sack. If you want to win these guys, comment down below what's the worst hole you've ever played. And when I say that, I want you to say what's like the worst hole you've played score-wise. So just name the course, name the number you took on it. Looking forward to hearing about it. And there'll be a little bit of sympathy / empathy for you, because you might win these. So thanks guys for watching day number 10 of Vlogmas. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, keep on dreaming and peace.
Outside.